Hello there and welcome to this Year 9 options presentation. My name is Mr Higginson. I'm the Deputy Head at Tretheris and I have the responsibility for guiding you and all the Year 9 students in their Year 9 options and then seeing them through their education in Years 10 and 11. The aim of this presentation is to ensure that you are confident to complete the Microsoft Office form option form, which will be made available to you on Friday the 26th of February following Thursday's 25th of February options evening. Over the last few weeks we have been sharing a wide range of information with you and your child, both through the children's form time at school and obviously via the website platform, the Year 9 options page, where we have pulled together a variety of information, advice and guidance on how to go about selecting the level 2 GCSE and vocational courses that the children are going to possibly study over the next 2 years of their education, and also introducing you to some subjects that are currently not on the children's curriculum for them to consider taking next year in September of their Year 10. Obviously key dates is upcoming this Thursday evening's options evening. I'm hoping you have been able to book your appointments. We are encouraging you to book appointments with subject staff of the options that your child has expressed an interest in studying in September, and therefore we are expecting you to make more than 4 appointments on Thursday. I would encourage you to talk to as many different subjects as possible, and so that you gather all the information that is required in order for you to then make your choices post the evening. There is an opportunity obviously with your maths and English teachers on Thursday to discuss their general progress and attitude to learning, because they're subjects that you will not need to opt for going through into Year 10. As I've already said, we're going to be releasing the Microsoft Office form to you electronically via the first point of contact email address that we have on the school system for you on Friday the 26th. And when you complete that form, at the end of the completion of the form you have an opportunity to submit it, and we're asking you to do that please by March the 5th as a deadline. As already mentioned, English and maths are compulsory subjects when they continue their education in Year 10 and 11, but in addition to that they will also continue to study science. So all students will study English language and English literature and sit those GCSEs at the end of Year 11, along with their mathematics GCSE, and they will automatically be studying the combined science course, which is equivalent to 2 GCSEs. If any of the children wish to study separate sciences, and we refer to that as triple science, therefore they will sit a GCSE in biology, chemistry and physics, they will need to select this as one of their options on the option form, and I will cover that in a couple of slides time. In addition to those examination compulsory subjects, all students will also continue to follow with their physical education programme. That will be reduced to 1 hour a week, whereas in Year 7, 8 and 9 they have had 2 hours a week. And they will also continue with their social, moral, spiritual and cultural education lessons. This will increase to 1 hour a week, whereas in Year 9 they've only had 1 hour a fortnight. So these are subjects that you will not need to opt for, and again I'll cover that in the following slides. So on to the optional subjects. We have produced a Key Stage 4 curriculum option booklet which has been live since the 8th of February for you to take your time and read with your child. In that option booklet it details each subject's content specification, how the subject is examined, which is really important because each subject, depending on GCSEs, vocationals, depending on the exam board, there are a variety of different ways of which the students will be assessed, either with end of course examinations, what they call NEA, which is like the old coursework style approach. A lot of practical subjects have elements of NEA, and also there are portfolio of work if they are vocational subjects. So it's really important to know and to take time to look at that booklet and to read it in detail. So again, this helps to make an informed choice on the subjects that you and your child are going to opt to study over the next 2 years. It's a really exciting time because this is the first time in your child's education that they're going to have a choice on what they're going to study. So I think this is a really exciting opportunity for our young people to take their studies, their education on, linked to their personal interests and obviously their strengths. Now, you may have heard of the EBacc. So the English Baccalaureate is it's not really a qualification, but it's a mix of subjects that the government actively look to encourage as many students to study as possible. They are referred to as the traditional or facilitating subjects. They are all GCSEs, and having good grades in these range of subjects will certainly stand you in good stead when applying, or if applying to universities or employers. But by not studying the EBacc, though, it won't preclude you from going to university or employment, but it is something that the government believes is demonstrating a rounded education. In order to complete the English Baccalaureate, each student will need to continue obviously their studies in maths, English and science, and then they will need to opt for a foreign language, the one that they are currently studying in Year 9, which will either be French or Spanish, and then choose between either history or geography to take forward into Year 10. It is not essential, it's not compulsory at Tratheris to choose the full suite of EBacc subjects. I will be talking on the next slide how we expect all students to choose at least one EBacc subject. That is a government expectation, and all schools now expect secondary school children to do this. But the government do have a target of 75% of all students studying the full EBacc pathway, and that is something that here at Tratheris we are working towards, but we are not currently making it compulsory. So when you get your option form, the first question will be that you need to choose one EBacc subject that I referred to on the last slide, on the previous slide. So all students at Tratheris, as they do at all schools, will have to choose either to study one of these 5 subjects that are on the slide now. So they have a choice of either studying geography or history, because they are studying both of those in Year 9. They must only select the language they have been studying since Year 7, so that will either be French or Spanish, or they can choose computer science in this first box. So in this first box you have to choose one of those 5 subjects. Move on to the wider list of all the subjects that are available to you. And here they are on the screen. What you'll see is that the subjects that were on the previous slide are again still on the form, because if a student wishes to choose the EBacc subject and they chose in the first box history, then they would need to choose their modern language on this stage of the option form. They could also, if they wanted to, they could also choose computer science. You'll see the full list of subjects here down on the left hand side, and we are asking you to select 4 more options in addition to the EBacc subject that you chose on the previous slide. Within this list of subjects, there are a mix of GCSEs and vocational subjects. And to find out a little bit more detail about which ones are GCSEs and which one vocational, if you look at the Key Stage 4 option booklet online, the GCSEs are coloured purple or yellow, and the vocational subjects towards the rear of the booklet are labelled as red. They are all equivalent to each other. They are all level 2 qualifications. None of the subjects are more weighted than the others. And we actively encourage all students to pick and study a mix of GCSEs and vocational subjects. A student may choose 3 GCSEs and 1 vocational, 2 and 2, or obviously 1 GCSE, which would be something from the EBacc list on the previous slide, and all the rest can be vocational. As it says on the slide there, GCSE subjects are typically assessed through end of course written exams, but again, by looking in the booklet, even some of those GCSE subjects have some practical and or coursework based work that make up the whole examined element, as well as the written exams at the end of year 11. All vocational subjects have external written exams as well, but they are often a smaller percentage than the GCSEs, and they are balanced out with ongoing portfolio written work throughout the 2 years of their studies. So, as I have said, your first choice must be from the EBacc block, and then we ask you to make 4 further options. And these could include additional EBacc subjects if that's what you wish to study. What we're asking you to do is to mark in the box your first, second, third and fourth preference, and you'll notice then in total you will make 5 choices, but you will the students will only end up studying 4. This gives us a little bit of flexibility when we get all 300 option forms in, as we only have obviously so many teachers for each subject. Some subjects have more than others, and therefore we need to do a best fit model. So it's really important that when you make your choices, that the students make the choices and you guide them on that all their choices are choices they are prepared to do, because it is often the case that a student will need to study their 4th option when other subjects are full. But please put it in order of preference, and we'll do everything we can to ensure that students get at least their first and second choice in the options booklet, in the options form. You will note here that if a student wants to do art, they cannot do art and textiles design. They need to do one or the other. They mustn't tick to do both on the option form. And again with French and Spanish, okay, we've actually put them on the same option line here and then we know what subject they're currently studying, and therefore we will allocate them the correct language that they are studying currently in year. So here's an example option form just to talk through. Here you can see that the student has selected history as their compulsory EBacc subject, and then their 4 options are enterprise and marketing as their first choice, which is a vocational subject. They've chosen art, which is a GCSE, engineering, which is another GCSE, and then drama, which is a GCSE, as their 4th option. On this option form, the student has selected history, but also on the option form has selected a language in the second box as well, and that means that they will be studying the full EBacc. And then they have made 3 other choices. As their first choice, they've chosen art, then the language is their second choice. They've chosen examination music, and if you look in the options booklet, there are 2 courses we are offering for examination music. One is a GCSE and one is a BTEC. And depending on the student's strengths, the music department will discuss with the child and will make the appropriate choice as to what course to put them on that stands them the best chance of getting the strongest outcome at the end of year 11. And then the fourth choice in this example is creative eye media, which is another vocational subject. Just to make you aware that all GCSEs are now graded on a 9-to-1 scale. And as I've already said, that whether your child chooses to do a GCSE or a vocational subject, these are their equivalencies. And you can see there that the 1-to-9 grading system for GCSEs and the vocational grading system, which goes from a level 1 pass up to a level 2 distinction star. So that completes my explanation of how to complete the option form. We're going to invite you to we're going to do a live question and answer session, and I say we, that's myself and Mr Sloan, on Tuesday evening on the 23rd of February at 6:30. That's going to be live via the Nuclear Tratheris Facebook account page. And what we're encouraging you to do is to come on to that. I will go over this presentation briefly again, and then I will be answering any questions that you post ahead of your options evening with subject staff on Thursday, and then ahead of you receiving the options form on Friday. Obviously, please do not hesitate to contact either myself or Mr Sloan or your child's form tutor via inquiries@tratheris.net from Monday the 22nd of February onwards, and we will get back to you either via email or we will call you to answer any questions you have on what is obviously a really important decision for you and your child to make. And as this is the first time we've done this process virtually, then we know that we need to offer as much support as possible, as much of information to you as possible. So please pick up the phone, send us an email if you have any questions, and we are here to support and to guide you through the process. Okay, I look forward to meeting you on Tuesday and at the options evening on Thursday, and I hope that you are all well and staying safe, and we look forward to having your children back in school as soon as possible. Many thanks. This